What is going down, everyone? It's time for Mojobreak.com, the Hype Sports Card Podcast, episode number 339, guys. And it's Bowman week, so you know we got to talk about Bowman. We got a special savings for you guys, and it's going to expire like Friday or Saturday. So if you're listening to this, you're probably listening to this during Bowman Day, maybe the day after. Use code Bowman12, 12% off any Bowman break on Mojobreak.com. So chase those big hits, those superfractors. All that stuff we're going to discuss on this show is about who you guys are chasing, what are some of the new added features in Bowman. We're also in the midst of one of the biggest weeks of this hobby with releases. We're going to talk some Crown Royale. We're going to talk some Select. There's been big Wemby sales. Wemby's the Rookie of the Year, which I don't think anybody's surprised. So we've got a lot of stuff to go down and talk about on this show. It's me and Dan. Dan, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. How you doing?
You ready for Bowman?
Yeah, I'm always ready for Bowman. I'm born to Bowman.
Born.
13. I actually bought that domain as well.
Born to
Bowman. Born to number 2 Bowman.
Yeah, I don't think you bought them. I'm gonna buy right
now.
now.
Well, it's probably already worth the $10,000.
Might be worth that much.
It's gone now. Well, whenever this airs, it's gone. It's actually a good one. I just came up with it. Born to Bowman.
I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna see if it's already taken. It's a good one. Now, would you do the 2 or the TO?
I think you got to go 2, but you never. Do you really want to put a number in a domain? I don't know, but I also don't want to. I think it gets a little too long if you put the TO in there. So I think you got to go born to Bowman.com.
Well, Born to Bowman with a TO is available at as low as 1 cent, and let's see if Born to Bowman is available. Nope.
It's not available?
Not available. Wait, well.
What?
Maybe it's in my cart. It's in my cart. Do people still buy websites? Or do people still go on websites?
You do it right now. Are you really buying my domain name?
Yeah, it's actually available as well. Well, it won't be available by the time this podcast drops because we're going to make sure we take that and get ready for Bowman Chrome with that one, right? I mean, borntobowman.com.
Well, Born to Bowman, yeah. I mean, what we were talking about before, that would actually be a good one for that specific, because you can actually repurpose it. Because you have Bowman Flagship, you have Bowman Chrome, you have Bowman Draft. Yeah. So we should just probably stop the podcast now. Get that taken care of.
Well, I still got to buy Dirty Nasty Flaming Bing Bing Box and CaseBreaks.com.
Yeah, so. That one 1 cent. There's a lot of characters in that one. What is the ideal amount of characters for a domain?
5.
5?
Yeah, but you can't
what can you spell with 5 characters?
Not a lot. I'm sure all the 3 and 4 letter characters are all gone, all taken.
It's hard to also spell something with just 4 letters and have like a call to action where people know what it is.
I'm sure there's one that was really high on people's list that are 4 characters, very well traveled by U.S. mails every day. But
porn?
Yes. .com. Never been. Full transparency, but I'm sure there's a site for it.
I would say that one's probably worth more than all of your domains that you've been stacking are together. Remember when whitehouse.com directed you to a porn site?
It did.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Come on, man.
I don't remember that.
We went to high school around the same time. You don't have to search it, but because it
doesn't anymore.
It's whitehouse.gov is the.
Gotcha.
But somebody actually bought whitehouse.com and it was a porn site.
You know, you never hear people talk about, and we're going to get into Bowman here in a second, but you never hear people talking about, everybody's like, oh, I wish I would have gotten a crypto like, in 2016. You don't hear people talk about, like, I wish I would have bought some websites in 1994.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something even weirder. I thought you were going to be like, nobody ever says should have gotten the porn. I think people do say that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of aspirations out there.
Yeah, people do say that.
Yeah. I mean, it does. It's probably a, good paying job. I don't know. Maybe it is.
I don't know.
Probably not. No.
I've never looked into it.
No.
I have no idea.
All right, let's see. What's the average? No, I'm kidding. Anyways, we got off a little bit of a tangent there, but something that's not related to that is Bowman, completely unrelated.
Which is what I'm born to do.
Born to Bowman. Born to Bowman. Get that domain. So, we're looking at 3 different SKUs this year, guys. We've got the hobby, which everybody knows and loves, is used to. It's been there for every year. You've been alive. They've had Bowman with the 1 auto. That's the hobby version. That comes in a 12-box case form. We've got the 8-box case of Jumbo, which is 3 autos. That actually seems like it's the least out there right now in the wild. Less Jumbo than the other SKUs. And then, of course, you have the brand new 2 Bowman, the HTA SKU, which has 3 autos, 6-box case, no base cards, just autos, no fluff, no guff. And
18 autographs.
18 autographs.
So you don't get these short print in case sets out of there because that 1950, what is it, 55?
Manga.
The manga.
Or the anime. You can't call it manga.
It's not
that's
manga.
Panini's, yeah.
Anime. Not going to be able to get that in the HTA.
Right.
Or the breaker, what are we calling it?
Choice, Breaker, Delight, HTA, all together.
All together.
All of them.
Because I was looking, it said, like, when you look at it, it's Bowman HTA is actually Jumbo. But, yeah, if you go HTA, Breaker, Delight, throw a couple other words in there, that's great. But that's, I think not having those super short prints is going to be, it's going to hurt it a little bit.
It might. But, you know what? It makes people happy? Breakers. It makes breakers very happy.
No, actually,
it makes shipping departments.
It makes shipping departments happy. I don't have a problem ripping hobby.
Neither do I.
And
for those of you they've had the choice before, they have not had it for regular Bowman. And I'd like to reiterate and remind people that there are 3 SKUs of Bowman every year that use the same template design. So it gets very confusing when you're going backwards trying to find a prospect because there's Bowman, which comes out first, usually around this time, March, April, May. And then there's Bowman Chrome that releases more towards the summer, which usually includes all your international prospects, a few of your draft picks that got missed. And then you get into Bowman Draft late December, early January, that kind of covers most of the first rounders. And they typically hold out a guy like Dylan Cruz to go into flagship Bowman. So 3. They all have the same design. They're all listed as Bowman Chrome autographs. Very confusing. So if you're searching a specific guy, I would definitely consult your checklist. But we're looking at Walker Jenkins, Dylan Cruz, and Arjun Namala, which have the most hype coming out of this year's product initially. But the beauty of Bowman is, they may not be the same guys that are hyped for 5 years from now.
What teams? We're looking at the second guy, Twins.
Walker Jenkins is
Twins. Blue Jays for that shortstop kid, the third guy. What was his name again?
Arjun Namala.
Arjun. Like it. And then Dylan Cruz
is the Nationals.
Nationals. All right.
Which, is good because I feel like the Nationals haven't had a big name in a while, and you lost Soto and you've lost Harper over the years. So
and I do think I was scrolling. I think all teams are pretty well represented.
All teams are, we went over the checklist. The Dodgers have 0 prospect autos, but they do have Yamamoto.
Well, in the
Shohei.
Shohei anime card, which is going to be huge. And they have parallels of those as well. Like there's super fractors of those. That's going to be insane.
Yeah, so if you're bargain shopping, the Dodgers aren't going to be cheap, but like the team like the Marlins, they don't have any autos. They're going to be cheap. You can still hit super fractors and stuff like that. The Cardinals have no autos as terms of prospect autos as well. The Rays have 0 prospect autos, but they're going to have Junior Caminero on the rookie checklist as well. So there are a few teams that aren't represented. I know the Phillies are another team where people are definitely chasing.
Aiden Miller?
Aiden Miller.
Aiden Miller. Wow, look at that.
Woo! Aiden Miller. Yeah,
who came in? Who ate their Wheaties today?
I'm glad it was on the tip of my tongue that I was coming out, Aiden something. But yeah, he's probably 4th on that list, I would say, of prospect people are paying big money for, teams that are going quickly. You also have, Dylan Cruz is up there. George Lombard Jr., I believe, is a Yankee. He's kind of priced very high. So people are, any kind of Yankees prospect.
It's a good name.
George Lombard Jr. Yeah.
Lombard Jr.
Jeffrey Rosa for the Mets, another guy that is another name that people are chasing in there. Luis Baez, another name people are chasing. Sebastian Walcott, you mentioned, it's not going to be his first Bowman, but I think he's lighting it up in the minors right now.
It'll be his first Bowman autograph, but it won't have the first Bowman designation on it because I believe he was in draft with a chrome card.
Gotcha. Okay, so that makes sense. So it still is his first Bowman then.
It's his first. It's not going to have first Bowman on it though.
I thought they did that. See, that's weird. They usually do have the first Bowman base, and then they do have a first Bowman auto.
I don't believe so. Okay. I could be wrong. But right. I do believe that it's going to be an autograph. It truly is his first Bowman auto, but it's not his first Bowman card.
Gotcha. And then you've got guys that have crossed over that have came back in the fold. You've got Ellie De La Cruz, of course, for a rookie auto. And I know Bowman purists are like, hey, don't look at the rookie autos. They're hard to chase. But, these cards, you do hold their value if you get one. So I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money if you don't want to buy those teams. Jason Dominguez also has a rookie in there. Jung Ho Lee, I've been proud to watch Jung Ho Lee for the Giants. Shows a lot of prospect. He's going to have a lot of potential. He's going to have his first Bowman auto, but it's going to have a rookie card logo on it. What do you think about him? You're not a fan?
No, I like him. I just don't like the team. The team, they are exactly. We're not going to sit here and talk about the Giants. Like, Cody's not even here.
I know.
But the Giants are a 500 team at best. The Dodgers are firing on all cylinders. We're not even in the same conversation as a team like the Dodgers.
It's still early though.
It doesn't matter. I don't know if the Dodgers are going to lose. They may. I don't know if they lose 50 games.
They're not doing great right now. They're like
doing
hovering
pretty
over
good.
500, right?
Pretty good. Ohtani, I believe, has 11 or 12 homers. Could have been a Giant.
We tried.
Well,
gave the old college try.
Try hard enough.
They're 24-13. Yeah, they've been winning a lot lately. Yeah, 24-13 is pretty good. Not bad. Not a bad day at the yard. So, yeah, Bowman, I would definitely look into this too, because Wyatt Langford's going to be in there. Not going to be his first Bowman. So there's going to be some guys that are crossed over depending on what team you want to get. What do you think about DA Cardwell announcing that the Dylan Cruz Superfractor, they are paying $200K for that?
I think it's light.
I
think Adam should have came in a little stronger. I'm holding.
I like that it's realistic though, because I think the Drew Jones last year was like what, $500,000? Was it $500,000 for Drew Jones?
That's
unrealistic.
No, that's the time that I want to live in. Let's go back and let's just keep on throwing. They did put $1 million bounty on the Bedard 1/1, and that's hockey.
And that hasn't been pulled yet, I don't think, right?
I don't think so. So coming in, I think a little light. I would expect a little bit higher of a bounty. I'm not going to put money out trying to do that, and I don't think the card is worth that amount of money. But these bounties, we throw these crazy numbers around all the time, and I just thought it would be crazier than that.
How do you describe that? Like, say you're out in the streets and you're running into somebody has no idea about cards.
Main streets of Santa Clara.
It's okay. a lot of hood out here.
I'm just trying to picture it and trying to get in that moment right now.
You're just walking around and talking, ask you what you do, and you try to explain to somebody that this card of this guy who's never taken an MLB at bat is actually worth $200,000. How do you explain that to somebody?
I know. I think we've had this conversation before, but I actually believe more so now than 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't think people would be surprised. I think we've turned the corner with pop culture, with cards and collectibles, where people would be like, I may not understand it, but this will be the response. Somebody may look at you and go, I may not understand why somebody would pay that much, but I'm not surprised by it.
No, but I'm saying, and I agree with, well, if you came up and you're like, can you believe this Michael Jordan card's worth $200,000? And they'd be like, yeah, I believe that. But you're talking about a kid who literally has not taken an MLB at bat, and somebody is willing to pay $200,000. Like, I guarantee you walk up and down this, like, anywhere you go and you ask 100 people if they've heard of Dylan Cruz, people are going to be like, 100 people are going to say, I've never heard of him.
Sure. But you could also go, hey, there is this card. They only make one of them. It doesn't matter, because I think people are also like, well, they'll pay that much. Like, they've seen how much, like, Charizards go for. And that is
A little bit more mainstream now.
That is a what is Charizard? A dragon-ish?
Something. So right now, Dylan Cruz is batting .230. He is with the Harrisburg Senators, AA affiliate. He's 22, 5'11". He's a righty, plays center field, 2 stolen bases, 2 home runs, 61 at bats, batting .230. So early still.
Yeah, I mean, what do you?
Career batting average .273 in the minors. So he's slumping a little bit early on in AA.
He's 22 years old, and he's right around that time where he's probably going to be called up to the show at some point.
You think he's going to be called up soon?
I think if you're the Nationals, you got to see what you got in him, right? You know what happened. You stay in the minors and you start hitting that 24, 25, 26, and you unfortunately got to start looking for another gig.
True.
Like, baseball might not be for you.
So he went to LSU. I'm assuming he went to probably 3 or 4 years there. That's
Dude,
why
LSU just, I mean, they are the
pump
school.
it out.
They are the school now.
Well, and that's why I think there's a Dylan Cruz, Paul Skeens dual auto in this set. Makes sense, right? He's got the connection. I mean, you're just missing Livy Dunn on there as a third, but you got these guys that both went to LSU in this. Pete Rose is going to have an auto. Hasn't been in a licensed product for a while.
So the retrofractors, Pete Rose and Bob Gibson.
Yes, but no Bob Gibson autos, of course. Yeah. So
why is that, Doug?
Well, I think he's pushing up the daisies a little bit right now, but Pete Rose will have autos and base of his retrofractors.
Hopefully nobody is sitting around with a Bob Gibson redemption, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you somebody's sitting around with a Tom Seaver.
Tom Seaver redemption, yes.
Tom Seaver, he's really angry.
Yes, Tom Seaver.
He's really angry. So, also, we're going to be breaking on Fanatics live tomorrow and all throughout the week for Bowman, 2024 Bowman. You could use live promo code Mojobreaks20. That gets you $20 off if you're a first-time customer. So you can join me tomorrow or today whenever you're listening to this podcast, or you can jump into Jacob's 25 case break where you can get your team for 25 full cases. Bubba's on there breaking some HTA choice. So use that code. If you've never been on Fanatics Live, use code Mojobreaks20 with an S. I know we don't pluralize it, but they did. So it's Mojobreaks20.
I was going to go I actually was going to be like, what did you just say? But I get it.
I think we've embraced it. I mean, we've embraced the fact that our name has been wrong for several years.
No, well, you could also make the argument
that we're wrong?
That we're wrong. Grammatically, I think since we do breaks, we didn't do one break and then just call it quits. And that's Mojobreak. Just one break and then we're done. So maybe everybody else has it figured out because they're like, these guys are doing way more than one break, so why don't pluralize it and put an S at the end?
Well, it goes back to that whole .com thing. Why I put the S on there? It's one extra letter. So we've got a domain that is how many letters? I can count in the back there. That is 9.
Oh, I mean
9 letters.
And it's a good one. I don't know if we'd be here if we put an S at the end.
Right. Yeah.
I think basically people would have typed out the 9 letters and they're like, one more letter's 10. I can't go to that website. I don't have time.
Yeah, that was the reason for our success.
Yeah, no, it's
one letter off.
That's in the world of business, one letter can make or break you.
That's the difference of me being able to get Subway or ramen. That one letter, is a big difference there. So,
Subway is Subway still a thing?
I actually have not had Subway in like 5 years.
I haven't talked to anybody. Actually, I was like, I haven't talked to anybody who had Subway. I watched Davey was eating Subway today.
Somebody had a big sandwich on the microwave.
Davey was eating Subway. So,
eat fresh.
Yeah.
The eggs go away at 11. They just
remember
disappear.
Quiznos?
Quiznos is still around. Still think.
No, I don't think there's. Where do you go for Quiznos?
Where's the Quiznos at? There's still some Quiznos, right?
You know the issue of Quiznos is that you would order a sandwich and it'd be like $21. You're like, what? Why? Subway right next door is $5 footlong, same size.
Find a Quiznos. Let's see how many they have.
They went out of business, man. I don't know if the whole. I think they definitely.
There's one in Fremont. There's one in Hayward. There's one in Richmond, Sacramento. Those are the closest ones to us.
Yeah, they used to be on every corner.
Now there's like in 50-mile radiuses. You know what I had the other day? Speaking of like defunct restaurants, that actually loved Sizzler. Went to Sizzler the other day. There's very few Sizzlers left. Man, it was glorious. Salad bar, man. Salad bar was fantastic. They bring you the cheese bread for free.
I don't know. If people don't usually describe Sizzler with fantastic.
It was packed. Actually, I had to wait. I had to wait to get in.
Wait to get in?
I had to wait to get in. I almost left. I was like, let's go somewhere else.
You had to wait to get in.
You had to wait to get in. And that was that day. We went back actually 2 days later because we loved it so much. But the salad bar was amazing. They had a little chicken tenders for the kids at the salad bar. Oh, I know, but you can have the kids.
So it's a buffet.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's been long gone in the history of the pandy that's happened. It's killed most of the buffet style foods. But that Sizzler on Great America Parkway is still kicking.
We're probably a healthier society for that might have been the one good thing that the pandemic brought to us.
We got rid of buffets?
The end of buffets.
Sweet tomatoes, man.
Nobody needed buffets.
Yes.
It was
salad bar. I don't want a buffet. I want a salad bar. I want to make my own salad.
Salad, I'm okay.
That's what I'm saying.
You're talking about buffets. Like go to Hometown Buffet, and that's
disgusting.
End up in a food coma. Your cholesterol's through the roof.
Well, I mean, the good thing about Sizzlers is like family of 4 fed them for like $50. And you get the ice cream at the end too if you want. It's all included in the price. Got my salad. Went back and got some pasta salad. I mean, it was amazing. I felt like I was saving a lot of money.
Well, and we're really pimping them out, and that's great. And I don't think they have that much money, so they're not going to probably be rolling in with that ad money. So free press to Sizzler.
They do have like 180
hooked up.
They got 180 locations still, so they're not quite dead yet. They're
180 locations, but one in like
California.
the Bay Area.
Yeah, pretty much.
In California.
Yeah, one in California. No, I think they actually are based in California.
Speaking of food, I had Raising Cane's. Have you had Raising Cane's?
No, but I just saw an ad under Dylan Cruz's Twitter, and I looked up Dylan Cruz right now. He's doing Raising Cane's stuff.
Pretty good.
What's the theory behind the name?
I have no idea. It's chicken tenders. It's like, yeah. I mean, it obviously wasn't Sizzler because I don't have the enthusiasm that you have with Sizzler. I mean, you're making me want to go right now.
Oh yeah.
And I actually don't know if I don't have time to wait. So it sounds like it's the hot spot.
You got to avoid Saturday or Sunday at 5:00. That's the problem. You can go any other time because we went on a Tuesday night, got right in, nobody there. It's great. All the free bread you can want. And their cheese bread. Gary, have you ever had their cheese bread at Sizzler?
Yes.
Oh my God.
You know what? I've never actually. Red Lobster. I've heard a lot about these like cheese biscuits,
Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Cheddar. Now, I'm not a seafood guy, so the name alone on that building is going to steer me away from it. I don't do seafood, so a place that's called Red Lobster is not going to be a place for me.
Seafood in your mouth?
Yeah, not. But I've heard these cheddar biscuits are pretty damn good.
They're like crack, yeah. They're like crack. I mean, you could actually buy them at Safeway or Lucky's and make them yourself. Probably not as good, but
part of me wants to go to a Red Lobster just to try these biscuits and then not get anything else.
They're pretty good. I'm not going to lie. They are very good. They're very good. But
better than the Sizzler cheesy bread, huh? If you had a choice, if you're like, wow, you're going either or.
Wow, that's hard. I don't know if I could pick.
Well,
they're both equally as good.
For the sake of a podcast conversation,
they're both the best.
They're both my favorites.
Yeah, they're both. I'll marry both of them. Love so much. I'm gonna marry them. Marry Cheddar Bay biscuits. One last point to point out with Bowman. There are obviously some great inserts that we talked about. The 55 anime insert. It's a case hit. But they also showed previews today of the numbered 1 out of 150. The True Blues are signed as their first auto for all players. How much value? So it's kind of like a one-on-one. It's what they did with Wemby. So the 1 of 150 will say my first Bowman auto. So that's the first signing card that they did when they had a signing. So how much more value does that bring compared to the regular blue? Is it 5x, 10x, 20x, 30x?
10x.
10x.
10x. Now, they all put the same thing, right?
My first Bowman
my first Bowman auto. I know this takes a lot more time, a lot more thought process, but I would love like a personalized inscription, even if it's like Go Nationals or Go Twins or something like that. Or do you want everybody to literally put the same?
Yeah, I
exact
do
thing?
because
no,
because you know what happens is you have.
Well, that's an F-bomb. We don't have Cody like.
You have people start drawing.
We have Gary on the ones and twos over here like.
Beep. No, you have Wembanyama drawing a stupid freaking alien on a high-end card. You start giving control to guys that don't know what they want.
Yeah, but that's unique.
No, it's not.
That's unique.
Stupid. You
no.
art.
I mean, it's stupid to you, but somebody else is like, I love aliens, and that means a lot to me.
It's not a one-size-fits-all. Not everybody likes aliens. What if somebody was abducted?
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're gonna find that one person who's like, I can relate to that drawing. I love it.
Say you're like a huge Wemby collector, right? And you got anally probed by an alien when you were a kid.
Well,
that's gonna bring up some bad memories, and you won't be able to want that card anymore. I mean, there's stories out there like that. You got abducted, and
are you
saying
can't
collect that card?
That could potentially trigger somebody to get them out of the hobby?
Yes. I am like a hobby Twitter user right now, like 100%.
I like the personalized, unique stuff, even if it is like maybe a stupid looking drawing or a doodle. I like that because it brings like character and personality from the player.
So if you bought the Mona Lisa, like you want somebody to draw a mustache on it? That's where I mean,
I'm not a big art person, so I don't know if the Mona Lisa would talk to me and make me want to spend who knows how much. That's not even you can't even buy that.
Yeah, it'd be like the price of the company Tesla probably for that. For the same.
I don't even think Elon could buy it if he wanted it.
No, I don't think it's for sale. But I'm just saying, if there's a high price art item, that's how I look at cards sometimes, especially when you're doing Dynasty. It's fine for like archives, but something like that.
But you don't like the fact that it actually brings personality from the player, and they're like.
I like inscriptions. Yes, I like.
So you want basically. I'm gonna hover over. Well, I'm not gonna hover over Wemby, because even if he's sitting down, he's still probably a foot taller than me.
Yes.
But I would basically be like, hey, write this exact stuff because I don't want you to have any personality whatsoever because we don't give a shit about what you're into. Write my first Bowman auto.
I probably would do that. You know, and Michael Rubin can make that happen.
Man.
No, inscriptions are fine. Like what I point out on inscriptions are like there's the LeBron Kobe where they put like
so you like what Leaf was doing, like can't wait to play in the big leagues.
I think he was on to something.
Can't wait to, like every single card that had an inscription. Can't wait to play in the big leagues. I'm like, I can tell you right now, all these players are not thinking the same exact thing. They're having somebody basically tell them.
Let's be fair. A lot of them haven't even wrote their name at that point. So like, yeah, you're gonna probably have to help them out a little bit. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are like kids from another country.
I honestly have. Getting back to what product is that? Is that Leaf Trinity maybe?
Yeah.
There's some of them that like it looks like it's actually the inscription is written by somebody else.
Yeah, save them some time. I mean, why have them write? You're probably paying them per hour. Or
yeah. Can you write? Can't wait to play in the big leagues. No, I'll just write it for you.
We'll spell it out for. I mean, we see these boxes. I mean, we've done these rookie photo shoots. We've seen some of these baseball signings. They make it pretty clear what they want. They're still a law of averages to say these guys don't follow those instructions.
What if you were sitting there? What if you're sitting there, Wemby's doing, and Wemby's like, man, like I watch Doug on like YouTube all the time. He's like my favorite breaker. He's also I'm gonna inscribe this. Doug is my favorite breaker, and it's gonna go into a product. You're like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that personality. You take that out of here. You write that's my first Bowman auto.
Well, if you personalize it to me, it might change the subject. But I'm sure a lot of people would hate that. Like, oh, breakers get everything, including inscriptions. Breakers not only get all the case hits and all the one-on-ones, but they get the inscriptions now, too. Like, what is this? I never want to be in Ginter. I don't want anybody to see my face.
I like inscriptions as long as it like shows a little of the character and personality of the person who's signing. Other than that, it means nothing to me.
But we don't need to draw like Josh Young drew on his face.
My first Bowman auto, I get it. I understand how people are going to think that is very cool and going to want to collect it because it is going to be very scarce. There's only going to be one of them. For me personally, doesn't Doesn't do anything for me.
Doesn't push the needle.
Doesn't push the needle. Doesn't do it. I would actually prefer something that is personalized and done that basically gives you that connection into the player's like personality and character.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a tactic to create artificial one-on-ones, right? This is now considered another one-on-one in the set, right, without having to make another superfractor. So you create that demand, and I'm sure there'll be bounties on these things.
From a hobby standpoint, I get it. It's smart. I would say it's actually like you're saying, like it just adds substantial value to the product without having to really do much more.
So you're saying instead of like, all right, here, you're like, you're not going to tell him what to write, and you're going to give it to like Dylan Cruz, who's like, I saw Morgan Wallen last night, and he put it on the card.
That is awesome.
Is that awesome?
That is awesome.
Why is that awesome? It's better than his first Bowman auto.
Because it's like he's putting personality on it. You're like getting insight into like what they're into, as opposed to, hey, write down exactly what I say.
But he's like, Luke Ryan's the greatest artist of all time.
If that's what he's into.
He's like, I'm with Kendrick, not Drake. I don't know. You know, I mean, it gets a little silly. You get full control, and I know that we do want to see their personalities, but these guys aren't artists. They're athletes. Wemby clearly is not an artist. He's great at playing basketball. Is he great at drawing aliens? I
don't even know why that.
That card pisses me off.
Well, apparently, we've never taught. We've done 14,000 podcasts, and we've never actually talked about how you're triggered about 19-year-old dudes doodling on a card that you want to collect. There's a picture of him on it.
Steve Buscemi in the Adam Sandler movie. I'm crossing that one out. Like, I'm trying to, you know what I mean? I've got
Steve Buscemi in what Adam Sandler movie?
One where
he's in all of them.
The one where he crosses off out of, is that not Happy Gilmore. It's where he's like got a book of people he hates, and then
Billy Madison.
Maybe it's Billy Madison, where he's like in his room by himself and he has a whole book of people he hates.
And Buscemi's on that list.
Yeah, no, Buscemi's the guy.
Okay.
And Adam Sandler was on the list, and he crosses him out. I think it was Billy Madison because he went to school with him and he hated him.
Yeah,
and then he met him later, and he thought he was a cool guy.
Sounds about right. But yeah, I mean, Steve Buscemi, I think, is in most Adam Sandler movies.
I think he is. Yeah, he's part of the regular cast. But anyways, yeah. So that's just my thought on inscriptions. I don't know if you guys feel the same thing. I'm fine with a good-looking inscription, but when you start drawing on your own face, it reminds me of the cards from the 80s that people put in their bike spokes. That's what I look at it as. Junk wax. You start drawing on defacing a card other than putting an inscription, it just makes the card look like it's cheap.
Okay. I think it's cool.
It's good in Heritage, or like, not even Heritage. It's good in like Archives, or like one of those sets that is not a staple product. Dynasty's a staple high-end product. That was a one-of-one that people were looking forward to get. Now he got a mustache, a little sweat dripping off his face, and an alien drawing on the card. Why?
It's cool, man. Don't buy it. It's not for you. That's fine.
I know, it's an easy decision.
No, there's I mean, there's other people that are going to want to buy it, and they don't care, and they're like, this is awesome. Like, I feel like I'm even more connected to this player because this is something that, one, like, he probably remembers that specific card and making that drawing. So there's a connection. Like, you ever meet him and you have that card, you can be like, do you remember this? He's going to be like, absolutely. You go up to the player who has like, this is my first Bowman autograph. You're going to be like, hey, do you remember writing this? There's a good chance you're going to be like, no, because some asshole behind me was telling me I had to do it. Right. Like, there's no, I was just being told, I don't remember doing that.
Maybe.
Where Wemby's like, yeah, I remember like doing that like alien drawing. That's cool that you got that card. There's a personal connection there.
Yeah, I guess it's the same kind of people that collect chewing gum from famous people and underwear from Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers. But anyways, it's
Flea underwear, huh?
Yeah, Flea underwear. There's people. There's a segment of people that collect Flea underwear.
You mean he doesn't wear underwear? He wears a sock.
Sometimes he wears a sock. I'm sure that's collectible too. So it's collectible too. Just to go off on a little tangent before we get into some basketball talk, I did want to say that I thought the Tom Brady roast was completely, utterly amazing. I think from start to finish, I finally finished it 3 hours. I think it was done very well. What's nice too is that, like, you know, when you're in social media and you see everybody's tension of like racism, war, like all this stuff. And then you have a forum where people, it's no holds barred. We all know it's jokes and they can say whatever the hell they want. It's kind of refreshing. I know some of it's obviously it wasn't for kids, but it was refreshing to just hear, like, I mean, Julian Edelman went way off topic. He talked about Hamas. He went wild, and it was acceptable. There was people talking about all kinds of stuff on that show. So I don't know if you had a chance to sit there and digest it.
I watched just clips of it so far. So at some point I'm gonna watch it. I'm like generally on a roast, and this was a really big one. I think it was like, wasn't it like the Staples Center or the Forum? Or?
YouTube.
The YouTube
in Inglewood.
Yeah, so that's SoFi.
I think it was. I could have been confused. Cat Williams had one the night before. So Cat Williams.
I want to say it might have. I think it was. It was definitely in LA.
Definitely, Cat Williams was at the Inglewood one.
Okay, so that's like the YouTube Center. Or
this was
like
maybe the Netflix one, the Netflix studio.
I think it might have been at the Forum, which is in Inglewood.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is because they were talking about Magic Johnson. So it was absolutely at the Forum.
Also in Inglewood, pretty much in the same parking lot. That place probably holds like 12, 15,000.
It was
people.
Packed. I mean,
but again, like getting to roast, like they're usually not in that big of a venue,
right?
So it was weird to see. It looked like an award show.
It did,
but it was a roast. Generally, roast or like at comedy like shows would be like at the Improv or something like that.
And for those that were saying, Jeff Ross came out and cleared the record, and he was like, "No, it was all in fun." He looks up to Robert Kraft as a father, and he just showed Robert Kraft he was protecting him. We all laughed about it afterwards. It was nothing serious.
Sure. I mean, honestly, like you kind of sign yourself up for a roast. You got to go in there knowing that
everything's gonna be talked.
Everything is on the table, right? There's no. If Brady did not want to do that, he could have literally been like, "I'm not doing this."
Yeah.
I'm also wondering why did he do it? Like, what does Brady actually have to gain? $30 million. But Brady need money? Like, I don't.
He did say in his portion of the roast that they spent $20 million to figure out if the balls were deflated, and he's like, they could have gave me $20 million, and I just would have told them that it was deflated. So it seems like he likes money a little bit, but I mean there's also some humility. Humility actually gives people more respect for you. Belichick and Kraft took a shot together, and that was like a good moment. Like, figure out they don't really hate each other too much. There was a little bit of camaraderie mixed in with the laughs as well. So I thought it was great. I mean, actually, the person I thought was the worst was Ben Affleck. I had to fast forward through Ben Affleck. It was terrible.
You know who wasn't? I don't think Dave Portnoy wasn't there.
No,
he's
not.
big Patriot guy.
No, he was
also
not there.
Very famous. I don't know why he didn't get the invite. Well, maybe the NFL.
Dana White had like a 60-second thing with Tony Hinchcliffe. Tony Hinchcliffe went up right after him. You know who was actually
what other so Nikki Glazer, what other comedians? Jeff Ross,
Tom Segura, and Burt Kreischer. Which I thought their bit was terrible.
Did they get up and talk?
They did a duo, and it wasn't very good.
Interesting.
I thought they could have done better solo, but they did like a screen, like a video screen thing. Andrew Schultz was hilarious. He was good. Tony Hinchcliffe was hilarious. Some of the athletes, you could tell that what was written for them, they were just kind of reading off the prompter. Gronk played the dumb thing again and kind of went off on that.
Well, why wouldn't he?
They were making fun of him about being dumb the whole show.
I know. I saw those clips.
Everybody had something to say about Gronk. So Randy Moss was all right. Who else came up? Julian Edelman went pretty.
I know Drew Bledsoe was there.
He did it. He spoke. Yeah. Ron Burgundy, of course. Will Ferrell.
Not as many players as I thought there would be.
Well, you know what was weird is they had the Patriots side. And
like
a lot of guys didn't talk, but they were up there. So they
where's
had
Wes Welker?
They had two linemen. They had Light, who was like Brady's lineman for forever.
Yeah.
They had another lineman, and they had Willie McGinnis. He didn't talk. Rodney Harrison didn't talk. And then the other side, they had some Tampa Bay guys. You know who's up there? Brashard Perryman. Like, out of all people, they had Brashard Perryman up there, which I was like, man. I remember him like a failed Raven. I didn't even know he was on the Bucs till.
I think he won a Super Bowl with them.
That's probably why he was up there.
Yeah.
No Antonio Brown. I mean, he won a Super Bowl with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. He should have been invited. I mean, one of the greatest ever to do it.
Any players that are currently playing?
Well, Peyton Manning talked, not currently playing.
Like no Mike Evans or
no.
huh?
What if it's an NFL contract because it wasn't NFL sponsored, part of the PA still?
I don't know. I don't think the PA can tell you can't go out to an event.
Lastly, I want to talk about a big week in basketball here. We got Crown Royale dropping same day as Bowman, which is the Kaboom chase. A lot of talk about the Kabooms being horribly off center.
I don't think they are. I think it's just the way the card design is.
Well, it doesn't help that they put a border. I'm going to bring one up right now. And the Kaboom explanation is falling off the card. Didn't fit the card.
On all of them.
On all of them.
Yeah. I think that's the way it's made. It's fine. Collect them or don't. It's your choice.
Sales?
No, it won't.
Yeah, because I think what they did was they created that little border thing on the top that I think is throwing people off to make it seem like it's off center.
That is the way the card's made.
They look great, I think. I mean, do you need the explanation on there to know that it's... So now it's like kaboom instead of like kaboom! Like there's no explanation to it, so it's a little bit more of a subdued kaboom.
I think people just look for something to complain about.
No.
I think that is what that's all about.
Nah, never, dude.
So yeah, if anybody pulls a kaboom and they're like, this is junk and it's off center, just throw it in the garbage. Period. And if you don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, kabooms are a huge chase, and Wemby's...
There's also, we always talk about kabooms and that, but the prime silhouettes are year in and year out some of the best looking designs.
And they have Steph in here and Tim Duncan. Which is
Tim Duncan prime silhouette. That's going to be badass.
And remember, if we can give a history lesson to some of our newer listeners, where did the silhouette originate?
Preferred?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, well, I was going to say preferred too, but I believe it did start in Pacific Crown back in the day before Panini even had the license. But when Panini rejuvenated the license, it was in preferred, yes.
Preferred was one of my favorite rips.
Yeah.
They should bring it back.
4 cards, book card,
4
in every
cards.
box.
The book cards, when they were done well and they were prime patches and stuff like that, they were amazing. When it was a single color relic and it had 8 players on it, not so much.
Not so much. And if you remember, they did have I believe that was the first time they did the finals.
They had the
patch
finals
books,
patches,
which
yeah.
was great. You had the finals logo mans for LeBron and Curry and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, what has really replaced that product? Opulence?
I was gonna say, well, Crown went to Crown, all the Crown cards, because they still had the die cuts in preferred, right? So those die cuts went to.
So they were not making Crown while they were making preferred.
No, they were not.
Yeah.
So they took that set and put it in there. Trying to look at what the box price is on Crown. It looks like a 16-box case is $94.99, just shy of $10,000. So if you're looking to buy a box retail at this moment, you are looking at quick math. You look about $625 on retail price for that box. So,
which honestly, I can't believe I'm going to say this. It's a little bit less than I thought.
Really, I think it's high.
I think it's actually lower because you have all the kabooms, you have the paralleled kabooms, you have the first product with Tim Duncan signing, and you have the prime silhouettes. I think it's $625. I think it's a good deal.
Well, one autograph,
I'm a buyer.
One autograph and one mem. So it literally, I mean, it is a break product. So check out breaks@mojobreak.com. We will be doing a lot of Crown Royale, so get on those, get your teams while you can.
We didn't get that much of it.
But I don't think I would buy a box at that price because it's just insane. You'd have to get into breaks at that price. You're literally hoping for that 1 in a million hit. If not, you're getting $20 in cards.
Okay.
I know when you hit, you're gonna hit.
Since these products are coming out at the same, and I know what your answer is because you just basically answered it. You have $650 to spend. What's a box of jumbo? That's got to be close to that, right?
Yep.
All right. You going a box of Bowman jumbo, or are you going Crown Royale? I think you have it. I think you actually, in one box, not a case, one box, I think you actually have a higher ceiling in one box of Crown than you do have in a box of Jumbo.
Yeah, but you have a much lower floor too, though.
You do. But if you hit a kaboom pretty much of any player, you're probably going to pay for your box. There is a chance that in a jumbo box, you're going to hit 3 base autos of pitchers.
Yeah, but see, with that, ignorance is bliss. I could say, well, I didn't get a big name, but maybe someday. With the Crown, I'd be like, I got a shitty box. There's no hope ever.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, but I actually think with Wemby not having autos and the kabooms are going to be one of his biggest chases all year. I think it's 625. I think it's a good deal.
Okay, let's compare this. So we got on Friday, we got Select. We're getting a lot of releases this year. It's a big week. It's a big week. Got bills to pay. $750 on a Select hobby box. We're guaranteed 3 autographs, 12 prisms, and a lot more cards. You're looking at 60 cards compared to 8 cards.
How much?
$750.
I out of those 3 products, I'm taking the Crown Royale.
That's probably third on my list.
Yeah.
That's third on my list. Because, I mean, at least with you're getting 3 autographs memorabilia. I know they don't have Wemby in there, but, like, chances of Wemby base go up, chance at Wemby Zebra, gold glitter parallels, black finites. The base cards in Crown Royale are nothing. There's nothing. There's not.
No, I mean they're cards.
There's
parallels.
There's no value.
You can get a Wemby rookie that's like numbered.
It's die cut in the shape of a crown.
Whatever.
Yeah,
it's still gonna sell.
It might sell, but it's gonna look stupid.
Well, that's your opinion. You have a lot of opinions that like you try to make facts, but they're
it's truly opinion based.
It's truly an opinion. Like you actually,
I can't believe you're picking Crown
you
over
started
Select.
This with like, I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. It was actually a quote that you said, but you're like, I'm going to tell you everything that I think is stupid.
Well, that's what we call a disclaimer. Allegedly, right? Allegedly. I'm just saying, for me, I'd probably still pick Bowman over Select slightly, but then it would be Select, then it would be Crown. Because, unless you can read that.
I would go Crown, Select, and Bowman. And the funny thing is that like if it would have been any other week, I would probably have Bowman on top of that list. I just think that if I have $600 to spend, I think Crown gives me the best chance.
It's funny that Dan's like so much not a company man that he went in order of the least amount of inventory to the highest. So like, that we were going to be getting.
No, 100%. Like, and I wanted, if I was a smart man, I probably would be like, I would just do Bowman all day.
Born to Bowman, baby.
And Born to Bowman is it's my credo. That's my thing now.
No regrets.
But apparently I'm born to Crown.
By that domain too. Born to Crown. I mean, we just saw Collectibles Guru post the Nebula from Prism of Wemby, and they're predicting that thing, I think it got a PSA 9, is projected to go for $750,000. Do you believe that that's true? If so, what does Select Black Finite go for then? Prediction.
I don't think that's going to go for $750,000.
Well, I think the perception is the Black Finite 101, the true black, not the shimmer, at a Prism goes for $1 million. Which I think is still running. I don't know if it's going to hit $1 million or not.
I don't put the Nebula in the same ballpark as
fair enough.
As a Prism black. Like that. The Prism.
It's not your daddy's Prism.
It's your daddy's Prism. It's Prism regular. Like,
to be fair, the first Prism never had. Oh yeah, it did have black prisms, right? It was black.
Because that's like saying the Prism. I would actually put the Nebula closer to the black shimmer. The Black Finite is the OG. Then there's the shimmer, which was pulled before the Finite. And then you have the Nebula. I actually ranked the Nebula the third out of that list. They all can't be $1 million.
I can't argue with you on the Finite. That's the number one card. I think I would give the Nebula the over the first off the line because I don't like first off the line. I think they're gimmicky. So I think the Nebula originated in Spectra, moved on into Prism, and it's a pretty cool looking card.
So you're a buyer at $750,000.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so
No, I have a bounty on it for $250, but I'm probably not going to.
$250.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No, $2.50. No, I mean, I don't think that I would pay that much for a card.
So I actually think the Select realistically is a 400,000, $500,000.
Jesus, that's crazy. And what are the chances it gets pulled by a breaker?
Well, we're gonna pull it.
Oh, okay. There we go. We can kill the product day one. C-Rad.
Yeah.
C-Rad's going to pull it.
Probably.
That's another question. Before we let you guys go, which obviously use that code for Bowman. Use that code that we mentioned earlier in the podcast to save 12%. Bowman 12. Use it. It's going to expire, and there's only a limited amount available, so load up on your
Don't use
teams.
it, you'll lose it.
But, going through these comments, it seems like, and maybe this is my algorithm, and I love the comments, so keep bringing them, but like breakers are the most hated in the industry currently.
Have been for over a decade.
But it's spewing the hate.
Yeah, but nobody's for breaker.
Should be.
I know. It actually, but I'm surprised. You know this though. Like it's been the same way for a long time. It is what it is.
It's almost like political. Like you walk into a room, you're in a certain area, you know the room you're in.
It's like being
but like I'm saying, like the forum you're on, you say it, you're gonna get people to agree with you. So it's kind of like political, right? Like you walk into a room, and you're like, I hate this guy.
It's like rooting. It's like rooting for the favorite, right? It's like being a fan of the Yankees, being a fan of the Cowboys, being a fan of the Lakers. I guess we're the Yankees of the hobby.
And I love it. I've embraced it. I actually want we don't give as much hate as other breakers. I kind of feel jealous that we don't get that.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's coming.
I mean, there's always time. We can always. It's funny that we have pulled some huge cards, but we don't get like the backlash. Like when we pulled the triple logo man, we didn't get as much backlash if, like, say, Backyard pulled it. Maybe because we've been doing it for almost 15 years.
Maybe because I can't say like these guys started.
Yeah, I can't say the guys just started. I mean, we kind of came up and not saying we invented group breaks, but we kind of made them accessible to every collector.
So you're saying they should actually hate us the most?
Yeah, we started it. We started this madness.
We didn't tell the other guys to start doing it. We were hoping we were going to be the only one. No, I'm just kidding. We actually embraced our.
Yeah, we needed everybody to jump on board.
We needed it too, but yeah, we started it. But we don't get the credit for that. Not that I need it, but we kind of did start it.
Yeah, I don't.
We're the first one with a website.
Yeah.
Mojobreak.
Maybe you should just post that. Like when somebody is just like ripping on a thread about how breakers, just like pop it and be like, oh, by the way, I started group breaks.
It's never been in my.
You're welcome.
It's never been in my personality to be self-serving, and I think self-serving does get you farther, but it also brings in that negativity, right? So like anybody that comes out and like is self-serving on Instagram or Twitter,
nobody
likes that.
Well, especially on social media, nobody likes that because you are an easy target at that point.
Yes,
but you probably have that personality. You're probably bringing it on yourself anyway.
Right. You got to be aware that you're going to get those kind of comments, but I stayed in the lane and don't need anybody to tell me if I'm good or bad. I still live my life without that. So, but yeah, guys, if you want to chase big hits.
We got Bowman going down. What do we got? We got a 25 case going down on Fanatics Live.
25 case, pick your team. There's still some good teams left. I know a few teams have came off the board. I think the Phillies are gone, but there's still some big teams if you want to get in. It's 20 cases of HTA, 5 cases of hobby.
You got to stream tomorrow on Fanatics Live.
Yep, came out of retirement. I am doing some Bowman tomorrow on Mojobreak Baseball on Fanatics. You'll see it. My first break's already halfway sold out, so by the time you're hearing this, I'm sure it will be sold out, but I'll have a lot more going on throughout the day. Just can't not rip, man. I gotta get in that thing.
Can't not rip.
Yeah. So
what time are you going live?
I am going live at 9 a.m. Pacific. So Bubba will be live at 6 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. So he's going to be in the thick of it by the time I get there. And then we got Big Break Jake coming in to do some player breaks.
Big Break Jake.
Double XL, baby. He's coming in to do breaks at 4, and he's going to go into the night. He's got lots of stuff going on. So get your fill. Or you can join Conrad and Greg at Mojobreak.com for Bowman. Also Crown, Pre-Sell Select. So
you can also, if you want to be your own breaker, you can go to mojobreakshop.com.
Yep.
We got all 3 SKUs available. There are actually 4 SKUs. There's also I believe a mega box that they have.
Yeah, we're open 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. So if you want to head on in on release day, or even try to make it in on the weekend to get your Bowman box there. We also have the Hall of Booms posted. So if you pull one of these Big Dylan Cruz cards, you can get your picture on the board at Mojobreak Shop. You got to check it out for sure. We got a lot of big hits being pulled in the shop. So check that out. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Mojobreak_com, as well as Instagram. We also got some big news about the show. We're going to be changing this into a live format very soon, so you guys can kind of come in and comment on some of the live stuff we're talking about. If you want to talk about Raising Cane's, if you want to talk about Sizzler, it would be the time. You can come in and talk about that with us and give us some feedback and content on your own. So, but that's all we got for today's show. We'll be back next week. We'll tell you how Bowman went. We'll tell you how Select went, how Crown went, and I'm sure there'll be lots of other stuff to talk about. So join us on next week's show. Peace out.